Okay, well, that brings to an end the panels and the keynote speeches. From now on, it's startup time. Our first element of this module of startups, before we get into the competitions, is the Startup World Cup. Those of you that were here for the last few years have known that we partner with Phoenix Capital to talk about the Startup World Cup, where they have $1 million prize. And we're very happy to have with us Ikta Dang, who's going to talk to you about the Startup World Cup. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Ikta.
Thank you, everybody. So happy to be here and introduce the Startup World Cup to you all. How many of you are interested in learning about the Startup World Cup? Make some noise, guys. Is there some? Bring some heat into the room. This is $1 million worth of competition. Show some enthusiasm, please. So I'm Ikta Dang. I'm a partner at Phoenix Venture Capital, which is a Silicon Valley-based venture fund. And we are all here to join the Startup World Cup competition, the Spain Regional, and hopefully one of the startups who would be the winning startup would be joining the finale next year with the who's who in Silicon Valley. I wish I were them, but anyhow, as I mentioned, Phoenix is a Silicon Valley-based venture fund that invests in companies all across the globe. And for this particular competition, as you all know by now, there's $1 million worth of prize. I already introduced myself to you. I've been in the corporate world for a very long time. And before joining Phoenix Venture Capital as a venture partner in the firm. So I've seen my journey right after my PhD as a product manager, and gravitated over to the business side of things and did venture investments as well as part of the big corporate umbrella, and now as part of Phoenix Venture Capital. So huge thank you to the South Summit. Yes, the innovation is now. And we are going to experience it real time, and we will see how we can take this innovation and share it with the whole wide world. Special thank you to the Spain Regional Competition judges. Really thank Marisol, Jose, Jasper, and Guillermo for their time and enthusiasm and their feedback to all the startups that would be participating in this startup competition. And again, also a huge thank you to all the regional competition judges here, Daniel, Yolanda, Antonio, and Luis. So just a few words about what Phoenix Venture Capital is. So we have about 20 funds ranging from $20 million to $200 million. Varies, fund size varying across all those 20 funds. And we've done more than 130 investments so far and have a global team of 88 members all across the globe. And we've been fortunate enough to harness our network to be able to invest in some of the very popular companies in Silicon Valley and beyond. And some of the names you see here, like X.AI, is using machine learning for personal assistant applications and really is a household name now in terms of automating how personal assistants are used. Effectiva is, I'm very proud of the company because it's a woman-led company. So some bias here, but it's a woman-led company. Phoenix is a proud investor as well in the company. They do facial and emotion recognition and are establishing some very strong partnerships now with SoftBank and a voice recognition company called Nuance as well. So here is the whole enchilada of 130 plus investments across US, Japan, Southeast Asia, and you can see that we've been pretty active and busy in scouting for the right technologies and investing in the right innovation opportunities all across the globe. So some clips from the Startup World Cup as well, and some of these images you will be well able to recognize. They are really the top venture funds in Silicon Valley. Vinod Khosla, right in the middle, is the founder of one of the very well-known and top venture funds in Silicon Valley called Khosla Ventures. And then on the right, we have the startup, actually, also a women-led startup, at least in terms of the core team, who won the final award last year in 2018. And that's Mr. Anis Uzzaman, who's our MD at Finox Venture Capital on the right, awarding the cup to this particular startup who won last year. And down below is Mr. Jay Vijayan as well, who has been on the C-suite of the most famous car company in the US now, Tesla. And he drives his own startup now. So anyway, on the Startup World Cup highlights at a glance, there have been 1,500 plus attendees and 200 plus journalists covering the event, and top 28 startups from all across the world have participated before. Guest speakers, as you can see, again, these are names that need no introduction to anybody, but still, for the sake of it, John Chambers, who is the former CEO of Cisco, Reid Hoffman, who is the founding CEO of LinkedIn, Mark Randolph, who's the co-founder of Netflix, and Vinod Khosla, I already mentioned, and Adam, who is the co-founder of the famous voice assistant Siri, have been the guest speakers in the 2018 last year World Cup. All right, so some of the judges who have participated in the final rounds are no other than Tim Draper. I saw his son as well speaking at the South Summit today. So you might be able to recognize him. And Ashley, who's again a partner of Social Capital, very famous venture fund in the Valley. David, who's a founder and partner at Techstars, a very famous innovation provider to corporations. And Eric Feng, who's the general partner at Kleiner Perkins, a very well-known venture fund, and then some other names who, again, are very well-known in the community. This, again, is the winner of the World Cup from last year. I already mentioned about this. And there you go. We are all waiting for the 2019 Startup World Cup. And hopefully one of the startups here would be fortunate enough to be able to meet the who's who and present to a wonderful audience in May 2019 in San Francisco. Again, just to repeat some of the statistics here, $1 million worth in prize money for the finalist startup that wins. The competition, it's reaching 100 million plus people all across, and there have been 100,000 plus total live attendees for these competitions, and we've been in 40 plus regionals. We will be in 40 plus regionals actually in 2019 in 40 plus countries, and with the grand finale happening in the US Silicon Valley, all powered by Finox Venture Capital. These are all the regional events we'll be having this year, and you can see we're having events. We have had events in Singapore, Sao Paulo, Cape Town. We're here in Madrid, and Tokyo, Toronto, Hyderabad, Warsaw, Poland, Dubai, Amsterdam, Kuala Lumpur, Sydney, Mumbai, Belfast, Sunnyvale, etc. More names across several other geographies, some in US, some in Asia, and some in Europe as well. I won't go into each of the names, but you can get a glimpse of where all the regionals are happening and who all are expected to participate and really be able to join the finale. So, ready for the World Championship? Yes? No? Some noise, please, in the room? Yay! All right. So, the grand finale, the big day, is May 17th, 2019. Please don't forget. Please join us in San Francisco for this grand finale if you really want to enjoy the show with the who's who speakers that are expected to be no other than Meg Whitman, who is the former CEO of HP, and Nicholas Zenstrom, who's the founder of Skype, we all use every day, Sheryl Sandberg, who's the CEO of Facebook, and Jessica Alba, who's the founder of The Honest Company, no other than Michelle Obama, former First Lady, thank you, and Marisa Mayer, who's the former CEO of Yahoo. All right, and here we are in the regional. Could we have the video, please? The video? Thank you, everybody. Ready for the goosebump ride? I am. Thank you.